Okay, so the first thing you want to do in Notepad++ is go to Plugins, and then go onto Plugin Manager. Click on Show Plugin Manager, and I don't know if you can like search or whatever. Maybe you can. Can I search here? No, I can't. Dang it. All right. Well, just scroll down and look for NPP execute, which is right here. This lets you, if you can read what it's all about, but it lets you execute commands. So I'm going to select that. I'm going to hit install. It's going to download and install. It is not possible to validate the, okay. So I'm going to hit yes. Notepad's going to restart. And once it restarts, if you go to plugins, then now you have this option in plugins. Go over this, and from here, I believe you just execute. Okay, you click on execute, and then here is where you're going to type in the commands. So on Dropbox, I do have that PDF file that you can look at. The instructions are kind of old. Another instructor made them. I'm going to have to close this out real quick. Wait, I'm clicking on the same thing. Okay, here's the PDF. Okay, so somebody else made these instructions, but it's for Windows 7 and Java Development Kit 7, so it's pretty old. But I think the most important thing here is the commands. I mean, everything should be relatively the same, right? So we already did all that steps here. So here are the commands that you actually want to input into the to where you set up the commands that you want to execute. So I'm just going to kind of just look at it real quick, try to memorize it. So it's basically saying CD, which is change directory, double quote, $, current directory. So whatever directory you're currently in. And then the next command is javac, and then the name of the file. And then when you want to set up your run command, it's same thing, change directory, current directory. But this time when you run Java, it's just the name part. And then they made one to compile and run, which is change directory, current directory, javac, file name, Java name part. So you can do all three at one time. And then when we're done with that, we'll just set up our shortcuts. Actually, once we add them, then we're going to go to advanced options and then add them to the macro window. And then once we've done that, we will be able to make shortcuts for them. Okay, so I'm going to go back to Notepad++, plugins, NPPexe, execute, and then here's where I'm going to type in my command. So the first command was CD for change directory, space, double quotes, and then $, open close, parentheses, and then here they had current directory. Okay, and then once you've done that, the next thing to do is javac for Java compile, and then $, open close parentheses, and file underscore name, all caps. Okay, I'm going to click on save. I'm going to save this as compile, and then I'm going to click save. Okay, and then I'm going to go ahead and modify this. So I'm going to go ahead and just copy this out here. I'm going to delete this line here. Actually, I'm not going to delete the whole line. I'm just going to modify where it says file name to name part. Okay, now I'm going to hit save, and it's going to give me the option to change the name. I'm not going to save it as compile. This time I'm going to save it as run. I'm going to click save, and then I'm going to go ahead and add in the compile command. Okay, so I just pasted it in here. Now I'm changing directory, compiling, and running. Actually, I made a mistake on my run. I don't know if you guys saw it, but I put javac on the run part. I'm going to have to go correct that. But I'm going to go ahead and delete that C right there, and I'm going to go ahead and save this as compile and run. Compile and run. I'm going to hit save. I'm going to go back to my run command here and delete that C. And then I'm going to click save, and I'm going to save it as run. So like I'm overwriting it. I'm going to hit OK. All right, and then it tried to compile, but it didn't. This is not a Java file, so it didn't compile. So the next thing you need to do is go to plugins, NP execute, and then go under advanced options. Now here's the point to where you're actually adding them to the macro menu. So down here, I believe, you just select compile and add, then select run, and then change the name over here to run, and then hit add, then select compile and run. and then change the name to compile and run. And then hit add, and then just press OK. Actually, don't press OK. Hold on. Dang it, I didn't mean to do that. Plugins, NP execute, advanced options. Okay, they're all here, but I meant to click this item, place to the macros submenu, and then hit OK. Okay, now it's saying Notepad++ must be restarted. Hit OK, and it didn't restart. So let me just close it and reopen. All right, so now if I go to my macros, I can see I can compile and run. So let me just type up a quick Java program really quick. I'm gonna go ahead and save this file as, and I'll just put this on my desktop. Save, and I didn't mean to save it as, dang it, hold on. I don't know what I'm doing. Over here, save as test .java. All right, and then I'm gonna change the file name to, not the file name, but the extension or the type to a Java source file. I'm gonna hit OK, and then I'll go ahead and just type out a quick Java program. So public class test, open close curly braces, public static void main string array arguments, open close curly braces, and then I'll just do a system.out.println test. Okay, I'm gonna save this with Control S, and now if you go to macros, you can compile and run in one command. Compile, and then it ran. Right, it's in this window right here. I don't know if you see that. Right, but it compiled, and then that was the output. Right, so you can like make like a tree. Right, so one of the reasons I don't like to use the console inside of Notepad++ is because it doesn't actually give the appropriate space for every character. So if I just like make like a little triangle, let me just copy this a few times. So all right, so I made like this triangle. I'm gonna go ahead and go to my macro. I'm gonna go to compile, it compiles, and then I'm gonna go to my macro and I'm gonna run, and it ran, but I don't know if you can see that. Let me just make this a little bigger. You can kind of see how it's kind of off, right? Like it's leaning a little bit. So it gives the student it makes the student think like, oh, something's wrong with my tree. Let me go add some more spaces and make it look correct on this console. But it's not actually going to look correct, because if you try to adjust it to fit this, when you actually go to command prompt, if I go to my desktop and I compile test.java, and then I run test, okay, it looks exactly the way you would expect it to look, right? So there's a difference between the output on Notepad++ and the output on command prompt. Now, maybe there's a setting somewhere to where you can adjust this to give the appropriate space between each character. I don't know. I don't really try that hard when it comes to configuring this stuff, but that's the way you can do it. And you can have the benefits of Notepad++, which it does have a lot of benefits. The thing I like to do with this Notepad++ is put my cursor on a parenthesis, and it tells me where it opens and where it closes. This is perfect for when you have like stray parentheses and you're trying to find them. You see how that one doesn't have a red begin, right? But this one does. Like it's letting you know like, hey, that one's stray. So the other thing is it has like that built-in IntelliSense for things that you've typed in to the current file. I like that as well. But the next thing that you probably want to do is you want to adjust the like for me personally, like I like to hit Control 1, Control 2, Control 3. That way I don't have to come up here to click on macro, then compile and run. So you can do that by going to your shortcut mapper. Let me find this really quick. So edit. have no idea where it's at. Anybody know? Settings? Maybe? Oh, here it is. Under settings, shortcut mapper, click on this, then go to plugin commands, and then in plugin commands, look for compile. There's compile. So then you just double click on it, and then do control, and then whatever it is you want to press to run, to compile. I'm gonna go with control 1. Now it's in red because somebody else is using it, right? So I'm gonna go ahead and, I want my control 1 to be compile. I want my control 2 to be run. So control and then 2 run. Then to compile and run, I want that to be control 3. Okay, now it's in red because it's mapped to something else. So now we have to go and look for who's using control 1. Let me find, if I can see control 1. Oh, there you go. It's in red here. I have no idea what this first style, second style, I don't know, but I'm deleting it. I don't care. Well, I can't just delete it. I have to come over here and get rid of it. Maybe I'll just do control shift 1. Dang it, that didn't work. Now it's, how about control shift alt 1? Okay, seems happy now. All right, so now we have control 1 and control 2 and control 3 mapped to our command to compile and run. So I just come back over here. Now if I want to compile, I'll just do control 1, right? And it compiled. If I want to run, control 2. If I want to run both of them, I'll do control 3, compiles and runs. Okay, any questions on that? So it makes Notepad++ a lot easier to use, right? Okay, so under plugins, NPPexe, go to advanced options. You should have found, under associated script, you should have found them under here.
Well, I wrote a script and it's not popping up. Maybe
Did,
see you after class.
okay, so if you don't see it there, like go to plugins, NPPexe, execute, and then look for it here. Do you have it under here?
Yeah, it's there.
Oh, maybe restart. Like close and open up Notepad++. I don't know if mine restarted on its own. I don't know if yours restarted.
Oh, okay, there. Now it's working.
Okay, it's there? Okay, cool. All right, any other questions on this? All right, cool. I'm going to go ahead and put this video on YouTube so that you can reference it later. It's not going to be part of the Chapter 4 discussion, so